Let's go to Tina in Edgware. Tina, good evening.
Hi, Daniel. Thanks for taking my call. So I am a mixed NHS and private dentist. I am self-employed. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, I got diagnosed with cancer. So
sorry, Tina.
Thank you. So it was literally the next day I couldn't go back to work. So they covered all my patients. You don't get sick pay as a self-employed dentist. You don't get holiday pay. But I got a sick pay from the NHS because you have a contract with them. So now it's 2 years on. I've tried to get my job back because they're family, friends, and they were like, oh, don't worry, whenever you want to come back to work, your job's always here. I've now tried to go back to work and they've
Sorry,
employed...
Tina, can I just clarify? Did they dismiss you?
No.
Did you resign?
No.
So as far as you're concerned, you still have a job?
I still... And every time I spoke to them on the phone, they said, oh, whenever you want to come back, you can come back to work.
Okay.
Your job is always here.
Yep.
However, when I tried to get back to work, they have employed their daughter and their son-in-law and another dentist. So, unfortunately, my position, the days of surgery, because it's surgery time, it's gone now. So I've tried to go back to work and they said, we're really sorry, there's no surgery time available unless we fire someone, which they're not willing to do. So I'm just wondering where I stand legally. Because
Right.
I don't have an employment contract. I have a contract with them to say if I do anything negligent.
Dentists are self-employed generally?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So are you recovered now, most importantly? Are you in remission?
Yes, I am.
Are you
Thank
good?
you.
Good.
Yes, I had a transplant, a stem cell transplant, and I'm fully recovered. Yeah, thank you for asking.
Good. So
thank you.
Here's the legal position. First of all, am I assuming correctly that both your NHS contract and your private contract were 0-hour contracts, or were you guaranteed numbers of shifts?
So it's not shifts. You are guaranteed numbers of UDA, so unit of dental activity. So if you see a checkup, you get 1 unit. If you do a filling,
so were you guaranteed a certain number of UDAs?
They said you have to do 4,000 UDAs a year.
No, sorry. Having to do it isn't the same as being guaranteed it. Having to do it places the obligation on you to do it, not them to offer it. Were you guaranteed that you were to be provided with 4,000 UDAs a year?
Yes. So whilst I was working there, I was guaranteed those 4,000 UDAs.
You were? Okay, good. And you were never dismissed and you never resigned?
No.
Okay. So in theory, assuming that you were indeed guaranteed those 4,000 UDAs, and the only reason I hesitate, Tina, is because you sounded hesitant when I first asked you, so I'm not sure how confident you are. Are you confident that you were guaranteed that minimum work?
I am, because in the last contract when I was working there, I was guaranteed those 4,000 because everyone works.
You've got that in writing. You've got that in writing.
Yes, I have that
Perfect.
in writing.
Okay.
That you have guaranteed 4,000.
Fantastic. So you are still employed by. I use employed in the loose sense. You still have a contract with them under which they promise to give you 4,000 a year. They are ending that contract by not giving you 4,000 a year. That and the reason that they are ending it is related to your absence, which itself is due to a disability. Cancer is deemed legally to always be a disability.
Yes, it is, yes.
So you have a potential claim for something called disability-related discrimination. You're being terminated, I'm going to use that word, for a reason related to your disability, the thing being the absence. Doesn't matter for this purpose that you're self-employed because the disability discrimination laws apply to self-employed people just as they do to employees. Now, unlike most types of discrimination, this type, disability-related discrimination, can be justified by an employer if they have a good reason for, in your case, terminating you and refusing to offer you your 4,000 guaranteed hours. That good reason, in the case of the private dentist, is going to be that you've been replaced by a family member. The fact you've been replaced by somebody else isn't going to impress a tribunal at all. The fact you've been replaced by a family member might cause a tribunal to think, well, if this family member had come along when Tina was well, she still would have been replaced by the family member because the dental clinic would have wanted to have their family member having a job. And so the termination hasn't in fact been mainly caused by her cancer. It's been mainly caused by the fact they want to give the work to a family member.
Okay.
Okay, but you said they've replaced you with a family member and somebody else. Is that right?
Yes.
And is that somebody else?
A son-in-law and someone else.
And is that someone else also doing 4,000 hours a week, 4,000 UDAs a week? A month, sorry.
So they have taken my surgery time. So I used to work on a Thursday and Friday, so they have taken those 2 days.
Okay. So I think then you are going to have a good claim here for disability-related discrimination. They've basically got rid of you because of your absence due to cancer. They are allowed to do that if they go through the right process. They're allowed to do it if medical evidence suggests you're not likely to be coming back in the foreseeable future. But they've never gone and got that medical evidence, I assume. They've never gone through a consultation process with you. It is very, very likely to be disability-related discrimination. I think you have a good case here. Unfortunately, Tina, having a good case and getting money out of it are two very different things, because dentist clinics, and I have some experience of litigating against them, generally don't have a huge amount of money sloshing around, and they're not going to want to give you a big settlement straight off the bat.
I don't really want a settlement. I just want my job back.
Yeah, the problem is the moment you sue somebody, that especially a small family business, they're not very likely to give you your job back. It's not the best way of getting a job back. I mean, if you can go to a solicitor and they can write a very friendly letter for you explaining this position, then maybe the dentist will say, well, OK, we'll have her back, we'll get rid of this other person. But the problem is 2 years on, this other person now has unfair dismissal rights. So it's more complex than just getting rid of them. But that's what I think you should do, Tina. Go and get a friendly solicitor. I'm going to recommend one. There's a firm I always recommend for cases involving disability discrimination called DIDLaw, DIDLAW. They specialise in disability discrimination, DIDLaw. Get them to write a really nice friendly letter for you, because you don't want it aggressive and hostile, because that guarantees they won't want you back.
Okay.
And hopefully that will get you somewhere. Tina, would you call me back and let me know what happens? I'd really like to know.
I will do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Daniel.
Good luck, Tina. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.